Well, now to Puerto Rico, where the region is seeing a record early hurricane season. The 9th named storm of 2020, Isaias, made landfall in the Caribbean Thursday as a tropical storm, leaving hundreds of thousands of residents without power. That storm has now been upgraded to a hurricane. And of course, on top of all of that, Puerto Rico has been battling a steady uptick in coronavirus cases, with 511 new positive tests reported just yesterday. Joining us to discuss both of these crises is the mayor of San Juan, Puerto Rico, Carmen Yulín Cruz. And welcome, Mayor Cruz. We appreciate you joining us during these trying times. So tell us how San Juan is doing right now.
Well, the major flooding that occurred not only in San Juan, but all in Puerto Rico and San Juan, the waters have gone down. We have no flooding, major flooding at this area, just some pockets in the city. We had 7 shelters. We are shutting down 5 of those shelters today because people were really scared of coronavirus and they didn't take to go into the shelters. So we're keeping the shelters for one of the areas that gets most hit, because on top of everything, on Sunday, we expect to get some other heavy storm. Not storm, but rainfall, which would last between Sunday and Monday. The highlights around the island of Puerto Rico are horrific towns that have been over flooded because rivers have gone out of their course, people having to be rescued. And in the midst of all of this, we are dealing with a high and a peak of coronavirus infections.
Oh, I mean, it is hard to imagine how you deal with this on such a level. And I'm curious because obviously, as you know, this is the beginning of hurricane season.
Yes.
Do you have a plan going forward on how you handle future storms in the middle of this pandemic? Like, as you say, people are concerned about going to much needed shelters when you have flooding and winds.
Yeah, well, one of the things that we learned from Irma and Maria, at least in the city of San Juan, our entire municipal health system and our municipal hospital, all now have generators and cisterns. So in terms of the water and in terms of electricity, we still have in Puerto Rico right now, 448,000 is the estimate of people without any electricity. And bear in mind that in Puerto Rico, a lot of the places pump their water into people's homes using electricity. So if there's no electricity, there's usually no water. And you know how important water is in maintaining just regular life. But imagine how much more important it is in maintaining a situation as vivid as it is having this virus. So we did that upgrade. We also did some upgrades into 5 of our hardest hit communities in Irma and Maria, where we established centers so that the community has been trained to take care of themselves. They have solar lamps, they have gas stoves, they have solar powered buildings, which means that people can go there and do a nebulizer if they have asthma, or take their blood pressure, or keep their insulin cold. A lot of people died from asthma attacks and insulin deficiency after hurricanes Irma and Maria because they had no refrigeration. And the other thing we have done is it's a beautiful day today in Puerto Rico. It's a beautiful day in San Juan, but the job doesn't stop there. Right now, about 500 employees of the municipality of San Juan are at different locations cleaning up the debris that is left behind, and also in the countryside. San Juan is about 40% urban, 60% country, so countryside. So we are going in the countryside right now, cleaning road by road and ensuring that everything is ready. We only had, fortunately, 2 mudfloods yesterday. They were cleared yesterday. And the other thing that we do after Hurricanes Irma and Maria at those community centers, which have been developed for doing that first aid after a storm or a major crisis, is give little solar puffs to people so that they can have electricity, not electricity in their home, but just solar lamps to help them, and gas stoves so that they can cook. We also give them water, and we also give them food. Bear in mind that because of the loss of work that people have had in San Juan, we have helped close to 50,000 people out of 300,000 in a robust and consistent system that we learned from the city of New York after Hurricane Irma and Maria. We have about 20,000 families that we provide once a week through religious organizations or community organizations. We provide them food for the entire family. And we give it so if it's 4 people at home, they get 3 meals a day for 1 entire week for 4 people. And then the next week, the same people. And then the next week. We have been doing that since the month of April, and since the month of March, we have upgraded the amount of food that we take into elderly homes. San Juan is the city of Puerto Rico that has the second largest number of elderly people. But imagine this, we've had 2 hurricanes that we've had to deal with. We've had 2 earthquakes and multiple tremors that we've had to deal with. We have this pandemic, and now we have this tropical storm. So we have endured a lot. We have really risen to the occasion. It is very hard. It is very tough on people's spirit, but somehow we find the strength to overcome, and we find the strength to push on.
Yes, you do indeed. I want to talk about the rising numbers, unfortunately, of COVID cases there in Puerto Rico. Unlike other tourist destinations, Puerto Rico did not close its doors to non-summer residents or non-residents this summer. Do you think that's contributed to the spike in case numbers that you're seeing?
It definitely has contributed. And one of the things is the Puerto Rican government does not have a robust and continuous testing system. They haven't even been able to get testing for 3 million people, 3.2 million in Puerto Rico. The municipalities have had to take care of it. In San Juan, we have the longest standing drive-through molecular testing, which is also a different situation. Molecular testing for, we've done over 8,000 testing. About 289 people have tested positive, and that's not even enough. So we have a lot of people, Puerto Rican population in New York, which was an epicenter, and in Florida, which is now an epicenter. And for 2 reasons, they come home to see their relatives, because some of the airlines have taken advantage of this and have given airline tickets of $35, $40 to come from the state of Florida to Puerto Rico, which is madness. The state of Florida is seeing a higher number of COVID. We are seeing a higher number of COVID. We just passed an ordinance in San Juan where everyone is going to have to wear a mask, or you're going to be fined $100, and that includes tourists. We love you. We want you to visit. We don't think this is the time for you to visit and put your life in danger and our lives in danger. But if you must visit, you're going to have to wear a mask everywhere you go. The other thing is the amount of Puerto Ricans that are in Florida that are coming to visit their family and even to get care for their relatives. Again, if you love your family and you don't have an urgent need to come, this is not the time to come, but it has contributed. The governor of Puerto Rico tried to implement a plan, which honestly, it was from the get-go was not going to work. It was an honor system. People had to stay indoors for 14 days after they reached Puerto Rico. Well, you know, if you're a tourist, that's not going to happen. So really what we're asking is for the common sense that people use all the time, and to let the American people know that we understand how much you love us. I personally will be forever eternally grateful of the amount of people that came from the United States to Puerto Rico to help us. October 4th, 327 AFL-CIO workers left their homes and came to help us and to tend to our wounds and to give us food and water. But this is not the time to do either tourist visits or social visits into Puerto Rico.
We know you are dealing with dueling crises there, and you are a very busy woman. So thank you for your time, Mayor Carmen Yulín Cruz,
thank you very much
for being with us today.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.